Welcome back to the series that we're doing on Evermore. I've been going track by track to see if I can find a deeper meaning within each of the songs. Today we're on track 2, which is titled Champagne Problems, so let's just get straight into it. Before we actually get started, my only frame of reference with the word champagne problems is kind of like rich people problems, or maybe problems that don't affect the average person, or it's like kind of unique to your situation. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think I have some sort of definition of the word in my head as we're going into this.
You booked the night train for a reason, so you could sit there in this hurt. Bustling crowds are silent sleepers. You're not sure which is worse.
So that first verse said, "You booked the night train for a reason, so you can sit there in this hurt. Bustling crowds or silent sleepers, you're not sure which is worse." So my first thoughts is that if someone's sitting there in this hurt, it's like they want to be sad about a situation. You know, when you kind of make yourself more upset about something than what you actually need to be, it's because it's maybe your way of processing it. And I think the part about bustling crowds or silent sleepers is kind of interesting because I interpret that with like different types of sadnesses, because sometimes when you're sad, you want to surround yourself with people and be in a positive situation to help you through a certain situation. But then there's also different types of sadness where you just want to be alone. So to me, this person is just trying to decide how to process whatever pain they're going through, maybe.
'Cause I dropped your hand while
Is
dancing.
that like a ring that just fell into the champagne glass? That kind of reminds me of like people hiding a ring for a proposal.
Left you out there standing, crestfallen on the land in champagne problems. Your mom's ring in your pocket,
Oh, I just said ring.
my picture in your wallet. Your heart was glass, I dropped it. Champagne problem.
Okay, let me go back and read those lyrics real quick. It says, "Because I dropped your hand while dancing, left you out there standing, crestfallen on the landing, champagne problems. Your mom's ring in your pocket, my picture in your wallet. Your heart was glass, I dropped it, champagne problems." With those lyrics, I kind of think that Taylor Swift or the girl in this narrative maybe left the other person at a pivotal moment in their relationship. By pivotal relationship, I would assume like a proposal, because it's mentioning the mom's ring in his pocket, and then also, like I mentioned a second ago, there was like a ring dropping in a champagne glass. And now that we've heard champagne problems actually said in the song, I would go back to my original definition that I know is like a problem only unique to them. So kind of where I'm at with the word champagne problems still. But let's just keep listening.
You told your family for a reason. You couldn't keep it in.
Ooh, does that make it much worse that maybe he was planning like a surprise like engagement party, and that's when she like left him? And that kind of goes back to the beginning of the song where this person's in this deep sadness because maybe they just feel like embarrassed that they lost their relationship, embarrassed that they told everyone, and then now it's something that you have to like live through.
Your sister splashed out on the bottle. Now no one's celebrating.
I feel like that's kind of a mood if my sister was about to get engaged and then like some weird embarrassing thing happened, I would be splashed out on a bottle too.
Dom Perignon, you brought it. No crowd of friends applauded. Your hometown skeptics called it champagne problems. You had a speech, you're speechless. Love slipped beyond your reaches, and I couldn't give a reason. Champagne problems.
It says, "Don Perignon, you brought it. No crowd of friend applauded. Your hometown skeptics called it champagne problems. You had a speech, you're speechless. Love slipped beyond your reaches, and I couldn't give a reason. Champagne problems." So when it says no crowd of friends applauded it, that kind of makes me think that, again, they're at this gathering for what they think is going to be an engagement, and when it obviously doesn't happen, you're not going to just sit around going, it's like that awkward moment. So I could see that happening. And then hometown skeptics called it. Maybe his like childhood friends were also there. and they're just chucking it up still to like rich people problems. I would assume that if she was ever in a situation of being proposed to and it was someone not as famous as her, I could see the guy's hometown skeptics calling it champagne problems, like he's rich, he was with Taylor Swift, like, you know, I could kind of see that as a perspective, but I'm not exactly sure of how first person the song really is. I really like that vocalization in the background too.
Your Midas touch on the Chevy door, November flush and your flannel cure. This dorm was once a madhouse. I made a joke, well it's made for me. How evergreen, our group of friends. Don't think we'll say that word again, and soon they'll have the nerve to deck the halls that we once walked through. One for the money, two for the show. I never was ready, so I watch you go. Sometimes you just don't know the answer till someone's on their knees and asks you. She would have made such a lovely bride. What a shame she's fucked in the head, they said, but you'll find the real thing instead.
This bridge has had so much going on that I almost feel like I need to go back and listen to it because I haven't found a really good place to stop at. Yeah, let me re-listen to some of that again, and then I'll read the lyrics and talk about it.
Your Midas touch on the Chevy door, November flush and your flannel cure. This dorm was once a madhouse. I made a joke, well it's made for me. How
Okay, so that first part said, your Midas touch on the Chevy door, November flush and your flannel cure. This dorm was once a madhouse. I made a joke, well it's made for me. That's funny. So Midas touch, that's talking about like the Greek god that he was cursed and like everything he would touch would turn to gold. So maybe she's referring to this person as like everything they did was perfect. Maybe on the surface there really shouldn't have been a reason why she like left this person, because like I said, everything around him is golden and it's all roses in a way. On a Chevy door, that's just the type of car. November flush and your flannel cure. November flush makes me think of like rosy cheeks or like maybe embarrassment or happiness in a way. And then flannel cure, I guess maybe like wearing someone else's flannel as like a form of like love, I guess. I'm not really sure about that part. This dorm was once a madhouse. I made a joke, well it's made for me. I guess like that's kind of calling herself crazy in a way. But then there was more lyrics that I felt like got connected to that, so I want to keep going.
green, our group of friends. Don't think we'll say that word again. And
So the word evergreen makes me think of forever, because an example is at like my job, if someone was going to apply to where I work at, we have something called evergreen job postings where it's like always posted. There's always going to be a need for that job. So evergreen kind of makes me think of forever. And when they're referring to their friend group, she's saying that she won't say that word again. I guess because she left this person, that she doesn't feel like she'll ever be able to say our friend group again, because when you break up and you have an integrated friend group, they might pick sides in that, or maybe they were more his friends rather than her friends. So it's kind of what I think about that.
soon they'll have the nerve to deck the halls that we once walked through. One for the money, two for the show. I never was ready, so I watch you go. Sometimes you just don't know the answer till someone's on their knees and asks you. She would have made such a lovely bride. What a shame she's fucked in the head, they said, but you'll find the real
This bridge is insane, like every line I want to talk about. And soon they'll have the nerve to deck the halls that we once walked through. Deck the halls is kind of like a Christmas saying. So she's saying that seasons of life will happen again. Like, you know, you're not going to be stuck in this moment forever. You're going to move on and you're going to have new people to decorate a Christmas tree with. Or I'm taking that kind of literally, but it's just like you're going to walk through different paths of life without me. And I'm like acknowledging that. And then one for the money, two for the show. I never was ready, so I watched you go. Maybe that's talking about a connection to like her celebrity status or something like that. It's like people would maybe assume that they're with someone for the money or the show of it all, like the celebrity status of being with her. And she was never ready for that relationship to go to that level. So she did let this person go. If it's not about her specifically, I still think people marry for money or different situations that are other than love. So that could be referring to that as well. Sometimes you just don't know the answer till someone's on their knees and asks you, she would have made such a lovely bride, but a shame she's fucked in the head. That first line kind of makes me think of someone in denial about a relationship. Like maybe in the back of your head you knew that this was never going to work in a long-term sense, but like you've never had a reason to leave. And when you're finally put into that like pressured situation of the big question, you're like, oh my god, no. Like that's what forced you to finally make that decision because you knew that that was the last thing that you kind of want. And the part that's saying that she's fucked in the head, I guess it just says that this relationship on paper and to everyone else was perfect. So there's like literally no reason as to why this wouldn't have worked and like why is she leaving this person.
They said, but you'll find the real thing instead. She'll patch up your tapestry that I shred and hold your hand while dancing. Never leave you standing, crestfallen on the landing with champagne problems. Your mom's ring in your pocket, her picture in your wallet, and you won't remember all my champagne problems.
I like that full circle moment because to me it's kind of making me think that she is accepting that she left this person and she doesn't feel bad about it. Like she wishes well for this person and she hopes that they find that person that won't leave them at the altar. Recently I listened to Kelsey Ballerini had a divorce EP and I watched it on this channel and there was a lyric in the last song on the EP where she was like, I hope I don't lose me again. But the whole song was like her wishing the other person well and hoping that they finally get the house and the kids that they kind of wanted. And that kind of makes me think of this like an amicable thing is like, I couldn't give you what you wanted out of life, so I hope you find it with someone else. That also kind of makes me think of my personal favorite song from Folklore, which was Peace. And it was like her having those thoughts of what if I can never give you peace? And I'm sure there's no connection between those two songs, but I will use any reason to bring up that song. So I wonder if this was like the ramifications of peace. It's like peace, you're still in that relationship, and it's that back of your head thoughts that I mentioned earlier that you're like, I know I can't give this person peace or what they want out of life. And then when it finally came to a head, this is when she finally made that break off moment in this situation. I just wanted to mention it because I'm fully making my own Taylor Swift theories now. Also, I felt a little bit ambushed by this song, and I'm surprised none of you guys warned me about this one. Usually you kind of tell me about the forthcoming songs or albums that I need to be like, this is gonna be one. Is this like an underrated song? Because I feel like I'm surprised that no one told me about this one.
You won't remember all my champagne problems.
Overall, I absolutely love this song. I think it was great. I like the songs that have a lot of story to them. Like another one of my favorite songs from Folklore was that Great American Dynasty because there was a lot of like storytelling there. And I feel like this one had a story. It was a little bit less than that other song. But these are the songs that are fun to like pick apart. I find so far that with like Folklore and Now Evermore, those were the ones that had the made up songs. So there's a lot more to like run off with and kind of just make up my own perspective on these songs. So I'm really enjoying this album so far. But tell me what you think of this song. Tell me if I'm missing anything, add any perspective that I maybe didn't have. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.